We are the poet, the pastor, and the pundit, opining each week on the intersections of faith and politics. We come to you from First Congregational United Church of Christ in DeKalb, Illinois. We hope you enjoy what you hear. Thank you for listening.
I could put 4 things and I would still be socially. It'd still be a little one. What can I do about it? I was one of the taller women in my family.
Were you?
My mother was 5'1" and a half.
Yeah.
My sister Mary was 4'11".
Yeah.
I was 5'2".
Oh, yeah.
And my sister Hannah was 5'4". That's it.
Yeah. My mom and dad were short also. My brother was 5'10".
Wow.
I think I was 5'6" at my tallest. I was
That's
5'6" at my tallest. I'm 5'2" now. Yeah.
And with that, hello, friends. We are the poet, the pastor, and the pundit, opining on the intersections of faith and politics and coming to you once again for lively, engaging conversation. Thanks for tuning in to listen. We're going to start this week with an interesting question to help the readers, or the listeners, not the readers, come to know us a little better. Name something about you that folk would find hard to believe. And you are?
I'm Rebecca Parfit, and
Affectionately known as Becky.
that is what I'm called, except
Our poet.
Yes. The only person who ever called me Rebecca was my father, and I was in trouble at the time.
So something about you that people would find hard to believe.
Well, I hold a 2nd-degree black belt in classic Japanese Shotokan Karate-Do.
Oh, whoa.
I am impressed.
I am so impressed.
I mean, you could tell because I look so imposing.
Oh my God. When do I meet you in a dark alley?
Well, if you behave yourself, you won't
If you behave yourself. So Becky was in my office probably about a year ago talking about one of the gentlemen at the, what do you call the place where you live?
What is it that I call it?
The asylum or something like that.
It isn't.
You have a derogatory name for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were describing a gentleman there who was obnoxious and rude and boorish. And you went in to complain and they said, oh, that's just the way he is. And
Yeah.
you said something to me about he doesn't know that I have a black belt in karate.
If he pulls that,
Oh,
know,
yeah. He deserves the response he gets.
there's a lot to be said about Karate-Do.
Mm-hmm.
And the kind that I'm connected with is very strict, straightforward, cool-minded.
Mm-hmm.
It's none of this flying
Mhm.
kicks and caca.
Yeah.
Just to be
I
clear.
was looking at a John Lennon quote this week, and it was he and Yoko were demonstrating for peace at their apartment in Manhattan, had their love in, and he had this quote. He was asked by a reporter about this, and he says, the government knows how to deal with violence, and they will do all they can to incite violence, because then they know how to deal with you. But if you respond with peace, with nonviolence, with humor, and I thought of you in the way of karate.
Yes.
It's not about violence.
Oh. It's about violence is the last thing.
Yeah.
The last.
Right.
And you do whatever you can in whatever situation to avoid violence. People don't tend to think of that when they hear karate.
So that's Becky, our poet and black belt karate holder. And Sharon, something about you?
Okay. After my first divorce, I moved to Washington, D.C. And people may not believe that I worked for Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus.
No, I did not know that.
There you go.
What did you do for
Were
them?
you on the high wire?
Did you shovel up the elephant manure after the
No, but my boss did. No, but
your boss did? You were lower than the elephant dung.
yeah. I was the administrative assistant for the executive vice president in charge of marketing, sales, and promotion.
Wow, that's
Whoa.
a title.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
It was quite a
Ringling
time.
Brothers.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Did you travel with them?
No.
You stayed in the DC office.
Yes, I did. But the
Did you get to attend any of their?
oh yeah, that was one of the
What was your favorite?
well actually
It's hard to pick.
no, it was a John Denver concert.
No, but I mean of the things you would see at the Ringling
Oh,
Brothers. What was your
the
favorite?
Animal Tamers would come in.
Yeah.
And I can't think of his name right now, but he was quite small, which surprised me. He was quite short, very well built, and he was a lion tamer. And
Wow.
yeah, and I thought, whoa, yeah, pretty impressive.
I've only been to a circus a couple times. The trapeze always
Yeah.
enthralled me that
They
they were
had-
able to.
Yeah, they had a blue unit and a red unit, and then they brought the Monaco circus. I don't think that did as well, but they had 2 units traveling across the country by
Really?
train. Yeah, and it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to lower my cool credibility and cachet a bit by admitting something that most people don't know about me, that my guilty pleasure is ABBA. I could
Oh,
listen
yeah.
to ABBA records and
Oh,
songs
well,
over and over
that's
and
not
over
weird.
again.
Oh.
And I'm an embarrassment to my siblings and my children, but
Too bad.
and I don't usually reveal that, but since we're being,
But
I do too.
all their discs.
But
It's okay.
yeah, when you were a cool young kid growing up in the streets of St. Louis, you didn't admit to your pals, I want to go to an ABBA concert. Anyway, we are here to opine on the intersection of faith and politics, and there's a few things going on this week. I want to lead with this. You know, we criticize our current president and his administration quite a bit, and I think rightfully so from the lens of faith. But as people of faith and as a Just Peace Church, I have to say that I was pretty happy to see that at least there's a ceasefire holding in
Yes.
Gaza,
Mhm.
and that aid and assistance is now coming in. All 7 of the hospitals have been leveled. So I want to give the president his due. He pulled something off that Joe Biden wouldn't.
Okay.
And we now have a ceasefire 2 years after the original October 7th attack by Hamas.
Mhm.
And your thoughts on that?
I agree with you. You know, there are so many things that we can criticize, and rightly so, but this is a very important step,
Yeah.
and one must admit that.
Yes, I applaud the peace that has been arranged. I am just sorry that politics has caused the death and destruction of thousands and thousands of people
Yes.
and their infrastructure that will probably take generations to fix, and the trauma that the people in that area, both in Palestine and in Israel, the
Yes.
trauma is permanent.
It is.
And
Yes.
there's no peace agreement that's going to fix that.
The one time I went into Gaza, one of the places we visited, and we visited because our mission dollars support this.
Yes.
It was a grade school in Gaza, and all of the children there were at 3, 4, and 5 years of age, already destabilized mentally because of the
Yes.
psychological impact of the warfare and mayhem that they lived with every day, and bombs going off. And they were literally at 3, 4, and 5 living with PTSD.
Mhm.
And the teachers there, all they did was whatever the latest research reveals about how to heal the traumatic wounds of young
Mhm.
children.
Mhm.
And I think that's life in Gaza. And that was before this.
Mhm.
Wow.
And, they are part of our future.
Yes.
Their lens looking at the world is always going to be different.
Always.
Yes.
And those of us who have never experienced anything like that are going to have to recognize that and learn how to deal with it.
Yes.
And how many of us are equipped up to it want to do it. I don't know. I find it's tragic. Just
And even know how to do it, what to do.
exactly.
It's just too awful.
Yeah.
It really is. We'll give him his credit, Donald Trump. Quite frankly, I'm proud of what he did. I wished Biden would have done it, but he
Yes.
didn't. But let me ask this: would you support that president now getting the Nobel Peace Prize because of this?
Are you kidding?
No, that's a bridge too far.
Yeah, come on.
We'll segue from here into the next subject, but as we get there, I want to point out that while he's literally campaigning across the globe for this award, and by the way, he didn't get it. There was a peace activist in Venezuela, and again, we'll
Right.
segue into Venezuela in a second, who got it. But while he's doing that, he's bombed 4 ships out of the Caribbean Sea to oblivion,
Mhm.
sunk all inhabitants.
Mhm.
He,
And evidence.
he
Yes.
sent a neutron bomb into Iraq to explode Iran or Iraq, one of their nuclear facilities. Yeah, Iran.
Yeah.
And so that he did this for peace, I'm grateful. But to give somebody a peace prize who's doing that, and now this will lead us into our next subject. Last night, it was reported that Donald Trump has authorized the CIA to begin covert operations in Venezuela, including land attacks. Thoughts about that?
One is speechless
Yeah, again.
again and still. Really, I hadn't heard that latest thing. It's unfortunately not a surprise.
No.
And where is it going to end?
Well, that's a really good question. And I don't know that it is the habit of presidents who authorize covert operations, especially about regime change, which we talked about last week when we talked
Right.
about Venezuela. This feels like regime change. But he's openly admitting to Maduro, the president of Venezuela, I'm sending my CIA into your territory to undo you. Who does that?
Well, okay. Wait a second. I might be having a senior moment. Didn't he also contribute millions of dollars to Venezuela?
Argentina.
Sorry.
It was Argentina.
Okay.
And billions.
They both end in
Billion.
A, so I got mixed up.
South American country. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it was
Argentina. Yeah, sorry.
It's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
Argentina was undercutting the U.S. in the soybean market, and China canceled all of its contracts with American farmers who cannot sell their soybeans now,
Right.
and was buying them from Argentina, who agreed to remove their tariffs to lower the prices for China so that they could undersell the U.S. farmers.
Right.
At the same time that Donald Trump promised to bail out the banks of Argentina to the tune of about $20 billion.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother story.
Yeah, it's a whole nother story.
But back to Venezuela.
Okay. Okay. I talk about a regime change. It's going on in my brain right now. Besides Venezuela, and we're talking about the Peace Prize, there is no peace in our home country right now.
Right.
There is unrest in our cities, to which President Trump's response has been to send in the military.
Right.
So I have to ask myself, how is that different than sending the military into Venezuela?
Not only sending in the military, he gave a speech to the military last week in which he said, we're going to ask you to train your troops in American cities.
Americans,
Right.
democratic cities, blue
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 cities.
cities.
Yeah.
states that have
Urban areas in blue
governors. He's not, well, talk about
Yes.
bipartisan.
So let me ask again, would you give him the Peace Prize?
No, certainly not,
There's
you
the
know.
joke.
But I think the Norwegian government even responded to his lobbying
Yeah.
for the award that said when they consider the applicants for that award, they sit in a room with laureates who had courage and integrity. And that pretty much ruled him out.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
It
I-
leaves one speechless.
I don't see it happening. I'm worried about Venezuela. I've been worried since he bombed the first ship. I don't know how a foreign government allows another state to kill its
Oh,
citizens
yeah.
Really.
without some retaliation. Now, 4 ships are down, and the president has openly said, I'm sending my CIA in to do covert operations. How does this not lead to war?
How does this not lead to war?
Exactly. Of course it leads to war. Guess who wants war?
Yeah. War is a big money-making opportunity,
Steve,
isn't it?
Steve Gerbil, I did that again.
Oh,
Steve Miller.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand he's selling his lovely home in Arlington because people have been writing chalk remarks.
Really.
This I have to, I don't know about this. I
I
got to
don't
find
either.
the pictures
Yeah.
of the chalk art in front of Steve Miller's home.
Yes,
Be worth
yes,
a
and
lot.
and it's very upsetting because they have young children at home.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Now, we talked about Lenin's quote about that the government trying to incite violence and responding with nonviolence and humor. On that line, I want to show you some pictures. And for those of you listening, I will post the pictures in the video, and I want to get your reaction to them. First of all, Becky, I want you to take a look at that picture. Those are the protests in Portland that our government says they have to shut down because of the violence, fires burning everywhere. What is that?
It's frogs.
Frogs.
Yeah.
And this is a post on the Episcopal social media page. Read the
This here.
yeah, and where it's from.
This is from Exodus 8, verses 2 through 6. But if you refuse to let them go, I will plague your whole country with frogs.
There you go.
The frogs shall come up on you and on your people and on all your officials.
Oh, I like that very
Frogs.
much. I like
These
that very
frogs.
much.
In addition to the frogs, we have there we go. What do you think of that? Does that look like a city on fire with violence?
This one has, among others, Mr. Potato Head, Garfield the
Is
cat.
Mr. Potato Head armed?
No.
No.
No, he's got the white gloves on though. And there's some other characters that are very courant that I don't know. But these
No,
folks,
that's the guy from
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, okay. And then it looks like a big lobster, which, even from a distance like I am, I'm terrified.
Of lobsters.
Oh,
yeah.
This is
absolutely.
this is what's going on in Portland that our president insists we must shut. And Christy Nome, there's a picture of her standing on a roof looking down at this
Yeah.
and describing it as some hellscape with the city on fire.
Good Lord.
I know, right? This next one, I look at this, and again, we'll show our listeners this, but just your reaction.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Good Lord. That's like that photograph of
Oh,
the guy
yeah.
running from the fire.
Oh, in Vietnam,
That
the
unforgettable-
napalm.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that's in that
Absolutely.
same category.
Absolutely.
And I remember the picture of Wang Wei Lin in Tiananmen Square, that
Mhm.
line of tanks,
Yes.
and that one lone protester, Wang
Yeah.
Wei Lin, standing up and holding back the tanks.
This is so horrific because this is a clergyman who's
Yeah.
just been
Yes.
shot in the face, and the shooter is not even an arm's length away from his face and head. And he is the military person, helmet, mask, all the equipment, all the coverage. And here's a man wearing his collar and a black shirt. And this is horrifying.
Yes.
It's hard to believe that this is our country.
Yeah.
Sick.
This truly
This is
makes my
America.
heart just ache.
Yes.
Oh, God, okay.
I was telling you both a little earlier, I'm reading a book on the 1960 Olympics, and one of the stories is about the opening ceremonies. And it's, 13 years after the armistice that ended the Second World War. And America has used that time and its wealth to rebuild the war-torn countries, including Italy. And when the U.S. walked in with Rayford Johnson, the decathlete holding the flag, the ovation from the Italian crowd was louder than it was for their own home team. And I read that and I just started weeping because at that time, we had built goodwill around around the world.
Yes.
And now all of that goodwill is gone. And these are the pictures that people are seeing and the stories that they're telling about what it means to be an American.
Yeah.
At one time, our country, I believe, was a saving grace.
Yes.
And now, today, I read a list of the countries around the world who will be protesting on October 18th in support of us defending our own democracy against a dictator. I find that quite amazing.
Yes.
We've come a long way, baby.
We've come a long, sad way.
Absolutely.
Well, with that hanging in the air,
Right.
we're going to draw our conversation to a close, but we always have a last word. Becky, what's your last word for us today?
Nevermore.
Who are you quoting there as our poet?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Nevermore. You look at that picture of the clergy person, you say nevermore. You hear the stories of
Yes.
what's happening in Gaza, nevermore. That's a good word, Becky.
Yes.
Well, of course, my closing is which way do I go? Here we go. I'll get it. No Kings in America. The rally around the world is Saturday, October 18th. And I thought on the way over to our meeting this morning that even if it's pouring down rain,
Right.
I can stand there to protect my country. But I'd have a hard time doing it under a dictatorship. So rally on.
You'll endure rain, but you won't endure a dictator.
I won't survive it. My heart will be broken.
Yes.
I'll die in the street.
I think the heart being broken is really the key because our hearts have always been invested in this being a democracy.
A democracy.
And free and open. And what do we have now?
Something positive here, Pastor.
Yeah.
I always end with this. We are in this together.
Yeah.
We need each other. We are going to get through this. So hang in there, live with hope, fight the good fight,
Right.
show up. We are the poet, the pastor, and the pundit, as we are wont to do, opining on the intersection of faith and politics. Thank you for listening. That was our podcast this week. Be sure to tune in next week for another edition of The Poet, the Pastor, and the Pundit, opining on the intersections of faith and politics. Thank you for listening.